All right, chapter 4. We entered the little village of about 200 inhabitants 1/2 hour before sunset, when it was known that Jest was with us. I believe every villager, old and young, and every pet and domestic animal came to greet us. While we were the object of more or less curiosity, it was immediately noted that Jest was the center of interest, greeted by all with the utmost reverence. After a few moments, he said a word to the villagers, and all but a few returned to their usual duties. Jest turned to us and asked if we wished to go with him while the camp was being prepared for the night. 5 of our party said they were tired after the day's journey and wished to rest. The remainder of us followed Jest and a handful of villagers towards the far side of the clearing that surrounded the village. After crossing the clearing, we had gone but a short distance into the jungle when we had come upon the form of a man lying upon the ground as though dead. That was our impression at first glance. A second glance, however, showed that the repose suggested calm sleep rather than death. We stood staring as though transfixed, for we saw that the figure lying on the ground was Jest. Suddenly, as Jest walked toward it, the figure became animated and rose to a standing position. As the figure in Jest stood face to face for an instant, there was no mistaking the identity. It was Jest. All saw that it was he. Instantly, the Jest we had known had disappeared, and there was but one figure standing before us. Of course, all this was accomplished in much less time than it takes to tell, and the wonder was that not one of us questioned it. The 5 who had been left behind at camp came running without a signal from any of us. We afterwards asked them why they came. The answers were, "We don't know. The first we knew, we were all on our feet and running to you. We simply do not know why we did it. None of us recall any signal. We found ourselves running in your direction before any of us realized what we were doing." One of our number remarked, "My eyes are opened so wide that I see far beyond the veil of death, and the wonders that stand revealed are beyond conception." Another said, "I see the whole world overcoming death." How vividly the words come back, "The last enemy, death, shall be overcome." Is not this the fulfillment of these words? What pygmies are our mere intellects in comparison with this gigantic but simple understanding? And yet we have dared to look upon ourselves as giants of intellect. Why, we are mere babes. I just begin to see the meaning of "you must be born again." How true the words. I leave the reader to imagine our surprise or bewilderment. Here was a man with whom we had been in daily contact and by whom we had been served daily, that was able to lay his body down for the protection of others and go on and serve so very efficiently. Could it do otherwise than recall, "He that is greatest among you shall be servant or shall serve"? I think there was not one among us, but from that moment lost all fear of death. These people are accustomed to laying a body down before a village in the jungle of a country infested with marauding men and animals, and that village is as safe from the ravages of men and animals as though it were in a civilized country. It was very evident that Jest's body had been lying where we found it for a considerable time. The hair had grown long and bushy, and in it were the nests of a little bird peculiar to the country. These birds had built their nests, reared their young, and the young had flown away, thus giving unmistakable evidence of the time the body had been in that position and inactive. These birds are very timid and will abandon their nests at the slightest disturbance. This shows the great love and trust of the little birds.